Thanks for tuning in to Chats with Your Self-Worth BFF. This is your host, Mikaela Filar, where we are here to skyrocket your self-worth, heal your shit, and take your power back. Welcome to the chat. Hi guys, welcome back to Chats with Your Self-Worth BFF. It's your host, Mikaela Filar. I have a new background today. If you're watching this, you might notice that my house has changed. I recently moved back to Ventura, which is where I was originally born and raised, which is pretty crazy to say because I remember probably, I don't know, the beginning of last year, or even maybe even the middle of last year, I made a podcast episode that was like, I am never moving back to Ventura. I have grown out of it, blah, 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 all this stuff. And all of that was true. Like that was very authentic. That was how I was feeling at that time. And then the universe did its thing and everything aligned in a way that made me feel like being in Ventura was what was best for me, what is best for me. And I honestly am so happy so far with my move. I've been here for about 2 weeks. I moved in on the 1st of February. And it has been super smooth. I mean, besides the fact that it was dumping rain the first week that I moved, so that kind of pushed things back a little bit and made it a little harder. But ultimately, when things shift, when you quantum leap, when you make big changes, there's going to be a little bit of resistance. And it's basically the universe's way of saying, okay, this is what you want. Do you really want it? How bad do you want it? We're going to put obstacles in your way to prove to yourself that this is what you actually want. So we have overcome the obstacles. We've overcome the rain. The rain has stopped. It has been beautiful weather this week. But I just wanted to kind of give you guys a little life update on what's going on with me. I've moved back to Ventura and I am super stoked about it. And I'm excited to see what happens. Obviously, my family is from here and my mom literally now lives up the street from me. And my boyfriend lives 10 minutes away, which has been so nice. We actually had a little lunch date today, which was awesome. Perks of being in the same city as your boyfriend. Doing long distance is doable. However, it was not something that I decided I wanted to do anymore. And so here I am back in Ventura and I'm excited. Anyways, I digress. Today, we're going to be chatting about self-love. Tomorrow is Valentine's Day. And I know the hype around this day. To be completely honest, I've never really been a huge fan of Valentine's Day. I've always had mixed feelings because I think that every single day love should be celebrated, but it's a thing. And I am going to talk about how to cultivate a relationship, a better relationship with yourself and how to love yourself a little bit harder. So that's what we're going to get into today for the episode. We're going to do a little self-love, self-image situation. So self-love and self-image are the keys to literally all of your problems, all of your quote unquote problems, right? You might think you have a million different problems, but actually they all stem from two things. And it's a low sense of self-image and self-love. So we're going to get into a little chat about how to up those, how to skyrocket them. All right. Which is obviously my favorite thing to do. Okay. So what self-love is the ability to put yourself first, prioritize yourself, and love yourself. What self-image is how you perceive yourself and how you perceive other people perceive you. I know that's a tongue twister. Say that 3 times fast. But the reason that these are so important is because a lot of our issues, quote unquote issues, stem from the inability to see our own value as a person without all of the things, right? A lot of times when we introduce ourselves or when we talk about ourselves, we talk about all the things that we've accomplished, all the things that we've done, all of the labels that we have. But what if you were to strip away all of those labels? Who would you be? This is something that I had to learn. Who is Mikaela without all of the labels? Right? That is something that is so important to ask yourself. Who are you without all of the labels? The world is a giant fucking mirror, okay? Everything that you feel, think, and believe to be true about yourself is what's going to be reflected back to you from that mirror, from the universe. So let's say that that you've been told in your past that you're too much or you're too needy or, all these things, right? These things that people tell us that like you're too much, you're too needy. I want you to take a step back and first of all, see all of the good in being quote unquote too much. And also, I've always loved this. I saw this written somewhere, but it's like, I'm not too much. I might be too much for you, but I'm not too much. But reeling it back in, you're not too much. But what's happening is that you are not seeing the fact that you do not need love from anyone else because you need to love yourself first. And you need to fall so deeply in love with yourself that you no longer need love from anywhere else. Obviously, I know that we all want to be loved as humans. We all want to be cared for. We all want to be nurtured. However, it is so important to cultivate that within yourself because the world is a giant mirror. Meaning, if you love yourself, you are going to attract and be an energetic match for people who love you, who see the value that you have within yourself. But first, you have to see that within yourself. You have to love yourself first. And if you don't do those things, you're going to be an energetic match for people who don't see your value, for people who don't love you, for the people who say that you're too much and that you're too needy. Because, like the reason that when we're being needy, people are like, you're like, ugh, like, like, have you ever had that person that's like, imagine if somebody was like, I need to be with you all the time. I need to know where you're at all the time. I need this, I need this, I need this from you, right? You wouldn't really be stoked about it. You'd be like, I don't know. And you'd probably like push yourself further away from that person. It's the same with everyone because when you're in that energy of need, it's literally making you a repellent for everything that you're desiring because you're literally handing your power away to somebody else. You're basically saying, I need love from you. And if I don't get that love from you, I'm not going to be happy. You're literally giving your power away to that person, to that thing. And we just need to step out of that needy energy and get into the energy of magnetism. And how do we do that? We give everything to ourselves first. So on this day before Valentine's Day, I want you to take a moment and ask yourself, like, how, like, do I truly love myself? And is my love for myself conditional or do I unconditionally love myself? That was a big one for me. If we do not see the value that we have just by being innately us, that is what's going to get reflected back to us. And it's not your fault that you maybe lack, maybe your self-love and self-image is a little low. It's not your fault. However, it is your responsibility to do the work necessary to heal that part of you. And how do you do that? You start to turn things around instead of searching outside of yourself for all of the things that you're needing. and you point it inwards and you start focusing on yourself. You start learning more about yourself. You start doing things that light you up. You start doing things that make you happy. You start making decisions based off of what feels right for you, right? So we cannot solve the problem from the same energy in which it was created. Let's say, I'll give you an example. Let's say that you're working really hard, right? You're working really hard on something and you want to achieve a goal. And you're like, you're in this energy of like, I need to achieve this in order to feel successful. Let's use the success. Okay. In order to feel successful, I need to achieve XYZ. And this can resonate with a lot of us because as we grow up, we're conditioned to believe, society has conditioned us to believe that you are not successful unless you have achieved, let's say, you've gone to college or you have a really fucking great job that has a 401k and benefits, right? Maybe you're not making X amount of money, so you don't feel successful. It's not your fault. This is just how we were programmed. However, it's your responsibility to reprogram yourself to see the innate value that you have within you just because you are you, without all the labels, without all of the achievements. Do you understand? I'm an intuitive energetic healer and I talk to souls on the daily. They are literally begging to come down on earth in a human body so that they can continue to learn the lessons that we get to learn on a daily basis. Because souls, our soul, that's like they get what we like to call soul points. They grow in frequency, they grow in soul points in order to like become a higher frequency soul, right? And so they're begging, literally begging, and you have a better chance of winning the lottery than you do of coming down from soul world, soul land up there, and coming down onto earth and living in a human form. Better chance of winning the lottery. So be grateful for literally everything, even the things that you would perceive as shit or not good, right? You have to find the good in it. You have to find the silver lining. I've said this multiple times, but you have to find the good in it because we are so lucky to be here. Like, how lucky are we to be able to grow and learn as humans and to earn soul points, period. So remember that when you're maybe getting frustrated that you're stuck in traffic or that you forgot something at the grocery store and you have to go back or that you get your heart broken or, all of these, you lose your job, like change the narrative. You have to get neutral about it. There's this common theme going around on social media that's like change your perspective. Perspective shifts are incredible. I'm not going to lie. But just deciding that like you're going to be positive Patty 24/7 isn't realistic. So, yes, sometimes we go through shit, right? That's bad, that we perceive as bad. However, there's always a silver lining. You have to get neutral about the situation. You have to neutralize all of the bad things. And same with the good things, because we never want to get over elated about one thing because then we're putting it on a pedestal and we're giving it our power. So when I say, is the love that you have for yourself conditional? What I mean by that is like, is the love for yourself conditional upon achieving X, Y, and Z, of having X, Y, and Z? We have to strip all of that away and just love ourselves and see the value that we have within ourselves without all of those things, just from being us, just from being here, right? It doesn't matter how hard you work. It doesn't matter how hard you're working, if it is coming from a place of scarcity and lack, right? It doesn't matter if, like, for instance, how many of you have like ever achieved something and then gotten the thing, achieved the thing, and then maybe it put a band-aid on things for, I don't know, a week, a month, a year, and then you went right back to feeling the same way. That's because you didn't fill the void. The void that you were trying to fill was actually a self-love wound, right? It was the wound of, oh, I will feel this way when I get that or when I achieve that. That's conditional love for yourself. The magic is having a 10 out of 10 self-love and self-image and being able to know and see your innate value just from being you without all of the external things. Stop giving your power away to all of these things outside of yourself, right? To the job, to the house, to the car, to the relationship. You don't need any of that in order to know your fucking worth. You are worthy solely because you are, period. You deserve the world solely because you are a human being and you were able to win the lottery by coming down from soul world and being in human form and getting to live a human life. Find the beauty in it and know and remember that you are fucking worthy of everything that you're desiring. But while we are, because we are obviously in a physical world, we're in a human form, we're going to want things, we're going to want to achieve things. I'm not saying that any of that is bad. It's great, but stop putting it on a pedestal. Stop making it mean something about you. Stop making it your identity. You are your identity. You are worthy because you are, not because what you have, not because what you've achieved, not because who's in your life, not because who else loves you, but because you love yourself. If this resonated, let me know. Share this with a friend. I hope you have an incredible Valentine's Day. If you are spending this Valentine's Day single, love yourself extra, extra hard tomorrow. Give yourself all of the things that you would desire from a partner, a romantic partner. Literally take yourself out to dinner if that's what you would want them to do for you. Go get your nails done. Go get your hair done. Do something that makes you feel good. Do it for you. Because when we're in this, if we are in this energy of like, oh, like I'm single, meh, I'm single for Valentine's Day, meh, sad, me, poor me. That's not a good energy. We got to raise that frequency, baby. You got to continue to work on yourself in order to be an energetic match for somebody who's going to work with you. In order for somebody to love you the way that you love yourself, you have to love yourself first. But you have to be an energetic match for that. You have to treat yourself and give yourself all that you would desire from a romantic partner first. It starts with you, period. I hope this helped in some way. I'm so sorry that this episode came out a little later than it normally does, but it's been a crazy month so far. Thank you so much for being a part of my podcasting journey, and I will see you next week. Chat soon.